6'9", looking like she's up there with the premier passes in the nation, men's and women's.
Yeah, absolutely. Kentucky visiting blue with the ball and trailing by 8, 50-42. Drake inside, almost unstoppable for the Wildcats.
It's a huge loss, and when she went to the bench with 2 fouls in the first half, Kentucky has got to reestablish that position on the low block.
That's a good point. She only played 10 minutes in the first half. Now she has 10 points. Novosel on the drive, offensive foul. Spotted by official Laura Morris, and Muffet McGraw doesn't agree with that.
Samantha Drake is a player that's playing with a lot more confidence this season. You see her reverse out of that low block move. And she's got the height there. Devereaux Peters, where's the pressure? She's normally a very good defensive player. She can't lay back and give Drake that space.
Off the turnover, Notre Dame ball. They met last year, and Kentucky won in Lexington. Victoria Dunlap, 24 points, 14 rebounds. She was drafted in the first round of the WNBA, so she is no longer a part of this two-year rivalry. The coaches agree. They'd like to see it continued. Foul called on Kentucky.
Kentucky really tries to make sure they can deny those ball reversals. Amber Smith just getting a little bit too aggressive on Mallory.
That second personal foul, Amber Smith. Novosel had that lights out first half. Good pass to Mallory, missed on the cut. And Peters on the follow-up is fouled. That's 9 rebounds now for Devereaux Peters.
You can see the chemistry for Notre Dame offensively when you look at the senior Brittany Mallory, the senior Natalie Novosel, Skylar Diggins, a junior. This is a backcourt that has played a lot of games together. They know how to make those reads and when to go backdoor. Just an errant miss by Mallory on that layup.
Yeah, their coach talking about the girls coming off finals said, you know, the brain's been overused this week, so it's kind of a relief to finally get back to the court. Now, you remember your days at Duke. What was it like after finals?
Oh, it's tough. I mean, you really love Christmas break because all you have to worry about is playing basketball. I really enjoyed that time, especially with your teammates. It's great to really form some off-court time, get those hours with your teammates and heading into conference play.
Walker inside, Peters with the block, and those two have to be separated, it appeared.
And Coach Mitchell saying that's an automatic technical. Devereaux Peters, she is too old to continue having these reactions on the defensive end. That was a great block. No taunting, no mocking, just play basketball.
Why wasn't anything called?
I don't know if the referees agreed with Mitchell that it was taunting, mocking right after that. Samari Walker, though, did a good job of staying out of it, not instigating anything there at Devereaux Peters.
Amber Smith controls for the Wildcats, who will play from behind the entire game, and now an offensive foul spotted by official Morris. Samari Walker, her first game in a year, transferred from Connecticut, had to sit out by NCAA rules. Heads to the bench, scored 5 points in roughly 8 minutes in the first half, and the only concern Matthew Mitchell, the coach of Kentucky, had was that maybe she might be a little nervous and maybe a little bit too hard on herself after not having played in 12 months. Skylar Diggins on the baseline. Notre Dame by 9, and Kentucky, which has 4 turnovers in the first 6 possessions of the second half, is going to use a timeout here.
That's a really tough shot for a lefty. Skylar Diggins, she is a left-handed shooter, but she can penetrate right and left. As we take a look here, she penetrates right, and being able to raise up, keep that ball high off of her last dribble, and shoot over a very good defensive player in Bria Goss. Skylar Diggins is one of the most talented pull-up shooters in the country.
Diggins with 7 points, 9 assists. I was talking to Muffet McGraw earlier this week about the publicity surrounding Diggins and her Twitter account that's gotten so much publicity, and she said, you know, we sat down and talked about it, but she's very good about handling things like that, and I kind of give my team a long leash. I'll step in if necessary, but it's you know, it's a social network everybody's concerned about, but at the same time, Muffet seems to feel she's got confidence that her girls can handle it.
Yeah, Skylar Diggins is a smart player in person. I think she knows how to handle that, but we really saw that lost last year in the Final Four, and I think it was because we had two teams in Texas A&M and Notre Dame. It wasn't your typical UConn, Tennessee, Stanford. It speaks to the parity in women's college basketball, but to touch back on the tweeting thing, there's two different approaches to it. Muffet lets her players handle it, and Coach Mitchell, he actually took all of his players off of Twitter. No tweeting, no Facebooking allowed during the season, trying to keep them focused and disciplined.
Now, if you were a coach, what would you do?
I don't think either way is right or wrong. I would probably hope that I could trust my players to say the correct things. But again, sometimes you can just do away with any chance for a problem like Matthew Mitchell did by not allowing it in the first place.
This half began with Notre Dame up 6. The Irish have pushed the lead to 9. Tough shot, but buried from the outside by Adia Mathis, who now has 6 for the game. Notre Dame beats the pressure, as the Irish have done all afternoon, but nearly turned it over.